Means that lifestyle which revolves around keeping Atma as a central point, main focus, that is called as Adhyatmika Jivanam. I know some of you might have just joined, so I'll just recap what we covered so far. The topic of today is essentials of spiritual life, reflection on the life of Swami Shivananji Maharaj. And we were just trying to open up the word spiritual life. Adhyatmika Jivanam. It starts with the word Atma. This is the main word, Atma. Adhi, along with Atma, becomes Adhyatmam. In Hindi also we say, right, ये बहुत आध्यात्मिक व्यक्ति है. Means he's a spiritual person. But what does that word mean? What it means is, my whole lifestyle should be such that I can remember Bhagwan effortlessly. My whole lifestyle revolves around remembrance of Bhagwan, or in Vedantic terms called as self-abidance. In our two texts, Viveka Chudamani and Atma Bodha, there are some beautiful examples given, which is just to say that if we are not alert, this knowledge that we have, the blissful self, which is our own true nature, it gets covered by several other noise from this world. Viveka Chudamani example is, there is a pond and there are leaves and moss which is covering that pond. With great difficulty, teacher removes it and the student is able to quench his thirst from that water. But the moment teacher goes away, that same moss and leaf and everything comes to cover that water. So much so that the student cannot benefit from that water. Similarly, here also, if we don't live a spiritual life, if we don't have a spiritual routine, what Upanishads promise to be our own blissful nature, that becomes covered by all other things. Second example is given in Atma Bodha of the rice and the husk, where Shankaracharya says, with lot of alertness, we should think about nature of truth, live our life in such a way that we can separate Atma from Anatma, just like we can separate rice from the husk. So that is the essence of spiritual life, where my lifestyle becomes conducive so that whatever I have learned, whatever I want to learn, that becomes available to me and I can benefit from that knowledge. Now there are some insignia, you say. Swami Shivananji Maharaj calls it as barometer for spiritual growth. If I think I am walking on this spiritual path, what are some metrics that should help me understand that I'm headed in the right direction? I'll just try to summarize it. I won't elaborate on it, but this in itself is a very detailed topic. So from different places in his writing, this is what we can take away as a barometer for spiritual growth. First one is, as a person grows spiritually, in his heart, love for God becomes more and more effortless. Remembrance of Bhagwan, unconditional love, that grows in a sadhaka. Second, very important metric for spiritual life is mellowing down of the ego. What we call as ahankara, it strikes this sadhaka that it's so futile to hold on to this ego and live a life trying to please, pamper this ego. So whenever that thought comes of letting go, whenever that thought comes of becoming small when needed, that is one sign of spiritual growth. I'll share a few more examples later if we get to that point, but this is the second metric. Third one, Swami Shivananji writes, One sign of spiritual growth is peace of the mind is not disturbed by any experience. And he gives actually 10 different points. If somebody scolds you, somebody harms you, somebody hurts you, so many things he gives. And he says, if your mind is not even disturbed, then we should know that we are walking on the spiritual path. And the last one, of course, is remembrance of Vedantic teachings. Whatever has been spoken about in Shastra, in scriptures. Whenever the mind becomes pure, as the mind becomes pure, remembrance of those teachings, interference of those teachings in our everyday life becomes more and more. Now, this spiritual life, to live it, one doesn't get inspiration merely by reading a book. Any inspiration to live spiritual life comes by looking at a saint who is living a spiritual life. So Puja Gurudev, he has written a beautiful statement where he says, each age has its prescription. We are living in Kali Yuga. What do we need in Kali Yuga? There is a specific prescription. To find it out is the job of the seer and the sage. They will not only find out the prescription, but they will also live it. So he says to perceive it is the exacting duty of the supreme lover of man. You know, Gurudev's expressions are so precise and poetic. He calls the renowned master or revered saint a supreme lover of man, one who effortlessly loves everybody. That is a saint. So such great Mahatma was our Swami Shivananji Maharaj. Little bit about background of Swamiji, which is also very inspiring. He was born in Tamil Nadu in 1887, and he belonged to the lineage of Appaya Dikshit, the one who has composed several shlokas, several stotrams. The great saint Appaya Dikshitar, in his lineage, Swamiji was born. And this statement is said by Swami Taponji Maharaj. I was so surprised. Swami Taponji Maharaj had so much, we knew that he had so much love for Shivananji, but he has composed 8 verses on Swami Shivananji Maharaj. On his 60th birthday, Swami Shivananji's 60th birthday, Taponji composed Shatakam, 6 verses. 6 verses on Taponji Maharaj, on Swami Shivananji Maharaj. Taponji composed on Shivananji. Swami Shivananji was an accomplished doctor. 7 years he spent in Malaysia, then 3 years in Singapore, and member of several medical societies. He has even published several books on household remedies and nutrition. And Gurudev writes, he cured disease of the body and also the mind. He was a doctor. Vishaje Sarvarogina, the one who knows all different diseases, not only of physical body, but also of the mind. That was Swami Shivananji. His story about his journey onto this spiritual path is very interesting. Swamiji himself writes, when he was a youth, he used to like everything that any ordinary youth would like to do at that age. Some kind of nice dress, clothing. He writes about his sandalwood that he would like. He said, I would purchase everything and wear it, all of it at the same time sometimes. But then he says, look at the power of Satsang. He said every day he would do study of scriptures. Every day do Kirtan, Nama Japa. And with this, that spiritual quest that was kindled and the desire to serve people, that became very strong. So our main topic today is essentials of spiritual life. So that we will try to classify into 3 categories. Swamiji himself has said this. He says the first essential of spiritual life is seva, service. Second one is swadhyaya, study of scriptures. And the last one is sadhana, spiritual practice. Seva, swadhyaya, sadhana. In English, it translates as service, study, and spiritual practice. He says, my whole life, my goal was self-realization. And I was determined to spend every bit of my energy and time in these three things, which is seva, swadhyaya, and sadhana. Now let's look at it one by one. We'll have to be brief about all these topics, but this content I've taken from a very beautiful book called A Sage is Born. It's by Chinmaya Publications, Chinmaya Prakashan, CCMT publication. A lot of details are given about life of all these Mahatmas, particularly Swami Shivananji Maharaj, Taponji Maharaj, and how they shaped Puja Gurudev. So Swamiji was known for seva. He was a doctor himself. So when he came back to Rishikesh, he opened his own dispensary. And he would do all the medicines, treat all the sadhus who had very limited medical facilities there. That was his seva. Demonstration of seva. Seva we all need. But when a great Mahatma does seva, it is for us to get inspired. And Swamiji also had a printing press, Yoga Forest Vedanta Academy. And you see here, he is doing the machinery. He's running the machinery himself. In this second picture, if you see, he's running the print machinery himself. And whenever there was shortage of funds, so much so that the magazine they didn't know whether they should continue or stop. He would say, I will still print it and keep it in my cupboard. If the Lord wants, he will send the right people to pick it up and benefit. They didn't have money to post. So he said, let us print it and keep it in the cupboard. Because he is the one who is running it. Why should we stop doing our work because of some obstacle? So he had two types of days. One was his seva days, another was his tapasya days. So it is said when it was seva day, he would take three things in a bag, or he would take three bags whenever he went out. One bag had all medicines. Second bag had all grains and little bit cereal that he would need for the day. And third bag had all spiritual books. So in between, whenever he would get time, he would start reading. And second part was his tapasya days. So in between, whenever he would get time, some days he would retire into very solitary place and do a lot of strict austerities. And there are some beautiful quotes which Swamiji has shared about seva. I feel it gives a lot of insight into karma yoga, how we should serve. He says, when you serve, feel that the energy from Hiranyagarbha is flowing through you. It's one of the extraordinary definitions of seva that I've ever come across. First thing is, sadhaka has to be connected with Hiranyagarbha. You should know that my abilities don't come from me alone. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Bhagavan. With that bhavana, when I work, through my hands, Bhagavan's energy is supposed to be flowing. He says that is the mindset we should have in seva. Second, he says, if you really want to grow spiritually, one must do all sorts of service every day. So he himself led by example. Machinery is to be run, he will go and run. Something else has to be done, he will go and do. That was his beauty. And last thing he says, service when you do with Atma Bhava. It gives a lot of power, purity, capacity to that person. He says, practice this and we will feel the power of it. What is Atma Bhava? We'll come to it later. Okay, so this was just a very broad stroke on Swamiji's inspiration, guidance on seva. So the main line was, the more you give, the more you will get. That was his advice to people. So we saw seva. The second essential is swadhyaya, which is study. There is one nice verse in Panchadashi which says, one good way to study is we have to keep reflecting upon it. Tat chintanam. Whatever we read, don't go to the next until we have thought about it. Tat kathanam. Discuss it with others. Study group. If you don't have anybody, find somebody, call them, give them food, and say, okay, I will discuss this. You hear. Do whatever it takes to share and discuss. Anyonyam tat prabodhanam. If you find another like-minded seeker, try to discuss this more such that we get more clarity about this topic when we discuss. Etadeka paratvam cha brahmabhyasam vidurpuda. This kind of single-pointed inquiry on the truth, that is called as brahmabhyasa. And Swami Shivananji Maharaj, he emphasized daily study. In fact, in Divine Life Society ashram, when Puja Gurudev was studying there, Puja Gurudev would speak, he would make Puja Gurudev speak on Upanishads. And after that, he would have his own kirtans, bhajans, which were in very simple English, very melodious. And he said, make sure that you don't allow the mind to stray away, even for a moment. Let it remain on the truth. Let it be focused on the truth. The picture on the left is Puja Swami Taponji Maharaj with Swami Shivananji Maharaj. Both of them were very good friends. When Taponji would visit Swami Shivananji would take Taponji to introduce to all the people living in the ashram. But you know what was a striking feature in his introduction? He would introduce each ashramite by their name and also point out the good qualities and the capacities of each person. So that is how he would introduce each and every one. And Taponji Maharaj talks about Swadhyaya that Swami Shivananji encouraged. But for that, I'll have to build some foundation. Okay, so if you all are with me, the next slide is the foundation for what Shivananji Maharaj is going to tell about study of scriptures as encouraged by Swami Shivananji. If we ask this question, what is the final result? We are studying so much Vedanta, so many things are there. What are we striving for end of the day? We say the main thing is knowledge of the self. Atma is the word, which means consciousness. That is my true self. This is one part of our study. Who am I? I should be able to confidently say after studying Vedanta, I am that pure consciousness. Then comes the word Sarva Atma. Sarva Atma means that same consciousness is the self of all beings. Sarva means all. Atma means self of all beings. So Sarva Atma means that consciousness is not only my essential nature, but that same consciousness is the self of all beings. It is my true self and the true self of everything around me. So this understanding is called as Sarvatmya Bhava. Sarvatmya Bhava means I am the self of all beings. This is the simple final message of Vedanta. Sarvatmya Bhava. It is said in Ishavasya Upanishad also, Yastu Sarvani Bhutani Atmani Eva Anupashyati. One who sees the self, Atma, as the self of all beings. Sarva Bhuteshu cha Atmana. Tatona Vijugupsate. That person doesn't have jealousy, doesn't get turned off from this world because he has this knowledge. This is the final culmination of study, Swadhyaya. The traditional example given in our scriptures is if you have clay and you make pots and pans from that clay, the Atma of that pot, pan, jug, jar is clay, because that is the essential material from which all those names and forms have come about. So you can call it as clay Atma Bhava. The Atma of all names and forms is clay. In the same way, once we understand this universe has come from Atma, then the vision of that saint, vision of that jnani is, this is nothing but the self. Seeing at the pot, he can shift attention to clay. In the same way, looking at this world, this jnani can shift attention to Atma. That is called as Sarvatmi Bhava. We don't see people as people, we see people as expression of the self. So Swami Shivananji says, Swami Taponji Maharaj, he says, this Sarvatmi Bhava, it is a root cause of all divine qualities. One becomes more forgiving towards others because he sees the other person as his own self. One becomes more accepting of others because he doesn't see other, he sees himself only as everything. And he says no perfection, no peace, no joy, no divinity, no Jivan Mukti can be attained without this Sarvatmya Bhava. I hope all of you are with me in terms of the chain of thought. First point was Seva, essentials of spiritual life. First point was Seva. Second one was Swadhyaya, study of scripture. Then we said, what is the final culmination, understanding of study of scripture? Sarvatmya Bhava. Now you see what Taponji Maharaj has said about Swami Shivananji. He says, go to Anand Kutir at Rishikesh. You can see the embodiment of Sarvatmya Bhava. You can see an embodiment of Sarvatmya Bhava there, who deserves to be the real and great master of divine knowledge, divine qualities, and divine life. So whatever we are studying in scriptures, Taponji says, a living embodiment of that is Swami Shivananji Maharaj. So that is the Swadhyaya, self-study, but it should have a direction. Okay, so we saw Seva, we saw Swadhyaya. The third one we will quickly breeze through, that is called as Sadhana, spiritual practice. Swami Shivananji gave a lot of emphasis on sadhana, and most important one was Nama Japa. He said, chant the divine name of the Lord, and he would encourage people to do it while they were doing their regular work. So he said, even when people would be at the ashram cutting vegetables, he said, chant the name. If they were going somewhere in Gangaji on a boat, he would call it as boat kirtan. They would go in a lorry, it would become lorry kirtan. He said, wherever you can, keep chanting Bhagwan's name. It has so much power, it will do everything for us. Kakabhushundi ji tells Garud ji, Nija Anubhava Aba Kahu Khagesa. O Garud ji, I'm going to tell you my deep experience. Binu Hari Bhajana na Jahi Kalesa. Without singing glories of Bhagwan, the troubles in our heart, troubles in our life will not end. There are few other sadhanas which I'll just mention. One of it is spiritual diary, which was started by Swami Shivananji. He said, whatever sadhanas you commit to, make yourself accountable to actually practice it and follow it. He also organized Sadhana Week, where people would gather. He would chalk out the routine, similar to the camps that we have, but more focused on study and sadhana. Last one was something very striking to me when I was reading. Swamiji says, main result of sadhana is mellowing down of the ego. One of his disciples, his name is Swami Venkateshananji. He has written a very beautiful book on Yoga Vasishta. He says, I have seen Swami Shivananji that whenever people would bring garlands and sing his praises, put it on him and glorify him, he would go into his room and just hit himself with shoes. And it is said he would tell his mind, if the experience of garland and experience of hitting with the shoe, if both are same, he said that is spiritual life. Meaning the ego has become so mellow that praise and insult both have the same effect on mind, or rather both have no effect on mind. You say that is the beauty of spiritual life and culmination of sadhana, because it's a very slippery slope. Sadhana can also increase the ego. So Swamiji used to guide all sadhakas, warn all sadhakas. So all these references I have taken from A Sage is Born, which is a book by Chinmaya Prakashan, and Swamiji's autobiography by Divine Life Society. So in summary, it was Seva, where Swamiji said, the more we give, more we will get. Swadhyaya, the main part is to strengthen Sarvatmya Bhava. And the last one is Sadhana, where he says, spiritual practice should mellow down the ego. Puja Gurudev has written this very beautiful note, and we feel so proud that we are part of this Guru Parampara. He says, Puja Gurudev's work is dedicated to the Shrutis, first of all, the Upanishads, that told me what reality is, to Puja Swami Taponji Maharaj, who guided me to the end and pushed me into the beyond. All this is Mananam material, we should keep reflecting. And it is guided to, and it is devoted to Sri Sadgurudev, Puja Swami Shivananji Maharaj, who showed me in his life how to live and act in God as God. So we're very, very blessed. We have Puja Swami Swarupananji visiting us. So if you are wondering, how do you strengthen this spiritual life? We have a wonderful yajna coming up by Puja Swamiji. This summer satsang, we wanted to do it such that you have the satsang part also, but you also get to know what is coming up in the yajna. More details, our Aparnaji and several other sevaks will share. So with this, I'll pause and hand it over to Aparnaji. Aparnaji, please continue from here.
Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om, pranams to everyone. Thank you, Swamiji. Let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, we can see
that. After that enlightening thoughts on essentials of spiritual life, we'll move to learning about what is the upcoming program there is, where we can further strengthen these thoughts for ourselves. So we're all family. We already know some of the details, that we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the new Chinmaya Sandipani building that we are all in now. This 10th anniversary celebration has been a year-long celebration with several different yajnas and talks and other programs, pujas. And now we're culminating the celebration with this grand program with Swami Swarupananji, the global head of Chinmaya Mission. Any celebration brings a lot of joy and happiness. And milestones propel us forward to greater and higher goals. Like many of us, I too revel in the nostalgia of how far we have come in just these 10 years at our new Sandipani building with our mission activities and programs. And it also gives us a perspective of what the visionary master, Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji, has done and continues to live through all of us and unfolds our life for ourselves every day. Isn't it amazing? Culminating of anything is exciting. It's like a cherry on top of the cake. We are in a splendid treat with this final program. What is that? It is the mystery series. It is a mystery. Swami Swarupananji is given us this topic for the series of talks where Swamiji will be expounding on topics that are life's most beautiful but intriguing phenomenon. And it'll be really wonderful for all of us to learn about peace, happiness, love, meditation, and God from a master speaker who brings the wisdom of Vedanta and our ancient scriptures with a blend of authenticity and accessibility, theory and self-practice, and logic and heart. Now you may ask, okay, we have attended other talks of Swamiji. Who is Swami Swarupananji? The general introduction, wherever we attend talks and we see Swamiji's programs, they would start with saying Swami Swarupanji needs no introduction. Then there is a long chronology of details of information of Swamiji's joining the Sandipani, being inspired by Gurudev. Here I'd like to give you a glimpse of the lesser known facts about Swami Swarupananji. And on one personal note, for us, he's just our Swamiji, to whom Swami Tejomayananji passed on the baton as the global head of Chinmaya Mission about 8 years back in 2017. Some other lesser known facts, or a fun fact, is that Swamiji is an excellent photographer also and loves composing his images, mostly of nature, in its pristine beauty on his camera. Swamiji is also a connoisseur of paintings, including modern art. Swamiji has actually painted a beautiful Krishna, which is actually sitting in Sandipani Sadhanalaya in Powai, Mumbai. If you ever get a chance, you must go and see the picture in Swamiji's kutia. Now, like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So do ask Swamiji the thought behind a painting he admires or a picture he takes, and you will be treated to a thought-provoking exposition of Vedantic principles. Next time when you meet Swamiji, and I'd highly encourage you to do that, do ask him about one of his pictures and the thought Swamiji had while composing that photograph. And you'll find very interesting principles of Vedanta that Swamiji will expound. So, what are we all here for? Essentially, each one of us is already a Chinmaya ambassador, right? We have all benefited and derived great value from all the teachings and the work that Chinmaya Mission is doing all over the world, and especially in Chinmaya Mission San Jose. Our involvement has transformed our lives, and that transformation shines out in our day-to-day life. And we all now know that as you think, so you become. Even for me, in my own personal life, I always have thought, okay, I can sing, I can do mission work, but I am not a marketing person. I don't know how to speak about the programs. People should be inspired by themselves. But over time, I have discovered, with the able guidance of Swami Swarupananji, Soham G, the different teachers that have come into our lives, that if you enjoy something, you would want to share it. So become a Chinmaya Doot. Step up and share this joy with as many people as you can. Now you may ask, what does that mean? See, publicity is best done by word of mouth. When someone vouches for a product, we all know we would want to buy that. So now it is for us to be able to speak about what is it that these various projects, programs, teachings, learnings of Chinmaya Mission that we spend a lot of time being involved in, what is the impact that it has had on us, and how we can share this with more people and be able to relate these experiences and inspire and bring more friends, family, extended colleagues at work, and anybody who will be interested and intrigued. Who will not want to learn about peace? Who will not want to learn about love? It is just essential topics that all of us dwell on and contemplate almost in every day of our life. Now you may ask, okay, as a Chinmaya Doot, what am I supposed to do? Well, our own motto maximize happiness for all. Towards the end of this presentation, we'll give you some practical tips, but it really comes down to personally sharing what you value and give more than what we take. Now you may ask, okay, what are the details of this mystery series talks? So for that, I'll just give you some highlights. This is a 5-day series from August 28th to September 1st. It is going to be at the Campbell Heritage Theatre from 7 to 8:30 on the first 4 days. And on the last day, which is September 1st, it'll start from 5 p.m. and end all the way at 8:30. Okay, so what's happening during this time? So essentially on day 1, which is August 28th, that's a Wednesday, we will have our inaugural program. And guess what? This time we have a very special inauguration where our own Balavihar children who have participated in the national Gita chanting competitions and have been state winners and have gone to Chicago and participated in the national level competitions, won 3 prizes. And of the 12 odd children that participated, all the children were specially recognized at this competition. Now they will be chanting the Guru Stotram and they will be chanting the mantras for the Purna Kumbham to welcome our global head, Swami Swarupananji. And then Swamiji's talk will commence on the first day. From day 2 to day 4, generally in our talks, we proceed our programs with some beautiful presentations, whether it's a play, whether it's bhajans, or whether it's a dance. We generally have these uplifting programs by our own in-house talent. We are going to follow that. And from day 2 to day 4, which is August 29th to August 30th, we will have different programs each day. I'll explain a couple of them and then pass on to other volunteers and team members who are working to give us glimpses of what is going to happen between 7 and 7:30 from day 1 to day 4, and then followed by Swamiji's talks for the topic of the day. On day 5, you may wonder, that's actually a long weekend for all of us here. And on day 5, we're going to begin the talks at 5 p.m. So Swamiji's talk on the last day will begin at 5 p.m. It's a 1-hour talk, so it will end around 6 p.m. And then we have a huge music and dance extravaganza that will have one of our volunteers explain who are working on this project. But then that will be a performance where we will all dance and sing with Hari Vittala, presented by our own in-house talent of Suranjali teachers and other dancers and performers, called HarMukMana. We will also have a very interesting display in the lobby, each day with interactive activities that connect with our grassroots activities of Chinmaya Mission. This is a first of a kind presentation that we are going to put up, and you don't want to miss it. And that will be open from at least 30 minutes prior to the program and 30 minutes after. So do come for that and be a participant and also spread the information across to other people. You'll get more information about it right now in a short while. Another very special feature is that we are going to have child monitoring and a mixed age group Balvihar class for children, that a brahmachari from who's traveling with Swami Swarupananji, his name is Brahmachari Darshan Chaitanya, who graduated from Sandipani in the recent batch. He will be here and he will be the one who will take this mixed Balvihar class and take care of the children who are young and who is younger and who would like to be in a different class rather than be in the main hall. So please spread that word around. Who is Brahmachari Darshan Chaitanya? Please come and have your children attend his class and you'll find out. Well, of course, all this work needs a lot of support, and there are several volunteers working together to organize, and many of us are here. And then there are the very large-hearted donors who support with their generous sponsorships and donations. I will give a glimpse of day 2 and day 3's programs that are happening between 7 and 7:30 and pass on to another volunteer to speak more about the rest of the events happening. On day 2, which is August 29th, our own Kanchana will be presenting a dance program, which will be, she has actually choreographed it, and she has put this together with some of our own very known Chinmaya Mission volunteers and Chinmaya Mission chicks. And that will be 3 pieces. One will be a Malari in the beginning, which is a Bharatnatyam composition, which is played in temple processions, where Bhagwan is taken out in a ratha, and followed by that will be a depiction of bringing Lord Jagdishwara in this temple procession to our own yajna premises. Followed by that, there will be a stuti presented by some performers from Ramcharitmanas, which is inspired by Soham G. And we have our own in-house talent of dancers and singers who will be singing and playing and accompanying the dance performances. That will be culminated with a beautiful composition that Swami Swarupananji composed during COVID times. Swamiji came up with this composition. He said to me that it was inspired by his own mother. And that composition is Durge Ma Mahakali, which is on Goddess Durga, that is being presented for the first time in the Bay Area by students of Kanchana Venkat and some of the other performers here in Bay Area. So that is day 1's program. It will be wonderful if everyone comes and more people are made aware of this program and come and enjoy that presentation. On the next day, there will be a chick play that our own Chinmaya Yuva Kendra members are going to present on Samudra Manthan, churning of the Milky Ocean. Now you may say, okay, we all know the story, so what's new? Our own chicks are going to present this Samudra Manthan with a focus on what is the guidance of Bhagwan, what is retrieving the Amrit meaning. And if you want to know what is the origin of Devi Lakshmi, come and find out at Samudra Manthan. Why does Lord Shiva have a blue neck? Come and find out at Samudra Manthan. What is the important role? What important role did Garuda play in the Deva's quest for the Amrit? Find out in Samudra Manthan, churning of the Milky Ocean. Where did Lord Indra get his famous Vahana, Airavata, from? Find out at Samudra Manthan. So it is not just a play where the story is depicted, but there is also the inner meaning that they're going to expound and present for all of us. With that, I'll pass on to Rajshri for talking about the program on Saturday, which is day 4. Rajshri.
Thank you, Aparna Ji, Hariam Soham Ji, and to all our Chinmaya Mission members today. As Aparna Ji just mentioned, I will be briefly talking about day 4's activities. So our in-house Swaranjali children from Fremont, San Jose, and San Ramon centers are coming together for a very, very special presentation. And they are going to be ably supported by our other Chinmaya Mission children on the violin, veena, tabla, and keyboard. So it's going to be a musical extravaganza on August 31st from 7 to 7:30. I would like to play a short clipping to give you an idea of how the presentation is going to come out. And it's a very rough clipping of some of the songs that we have been learning and practicing in our sessions. So here is the clipping. So that was a very, very short clipping. We look forward to seeing all of you on August 31st. Please to come support and bless our Chinmaya Mission children. Hari Om. I will now pass it on to Natana to talk about our HarMukMana. Hari Om, Natana.
Hari Om. Thank you. Hari Om. Pranams to Soham G and the rest of the Chinmaya Mission members. This is about the HarMukMana program that's going to be presented on September 1st at the end of Swami Swarupananji's lectures. So this is a presentation, as Aparnaji mentioned, music and dance. The music, the singers will be primarily our Swaranjali teachers from various locations. And the dance is a choreography by Srimati Deepa Mahadevanji, who was our teacher here in the Bay Area in Fremont Center. She has relocated, but she has several Chinmaya Mission students still here practicing and continuing to learn with her. So the dance will be presented by them. And the whole inspiration came from my fascination to the Varkari tradition and abhangs composed by several Maharashtrian saints. So we have selected very few from the ocean of options available. We just selected a couple of few abhangs, and we are going to present it on that day, taking into account how the Varkari tradition is done, and we'll do our best with what we have, the facilities and the space we have. But we'd like you all to come and enjoy it. And we have a small sneak peek of the a small sneak peek of the video of the songs, but accompanied by some pictures, which will be presented by Belaji. Belaji, please. Thank you.
विठ्ठल 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 हरिनाचत डोलत देवाचा गडल पीतांबर नाचत हरि डोलत हरि हरि नाचत डोलत देवाचा गडल पीतांबर विठ्ठल 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 हो तुला साद आली तुझा लेकरांची अलंकापुरी आज भारावली वसावारीचा घेतला पावलानी आम्हा वाळवंटी तुझी सावली गळा भेट घेण्या भीमेची निघाली तुझा नाम घोषात इंद्रायणी विठ्ठल 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 भिडे आसमंती ध्वजा वैष्णवांची उभी पंढरी आज नादावली तुझे नाव ओठी तुझे रूप ध्यानी जीवाला तुझी आस गाला गली जरी बाप साऱ्या जगाचा परी तू आम्हाले घराची विठू माऊली हरी मुखे म्हणा हरी मुखे म्हणा हरी मुखे म्हणा हरी मुखे म्हणा पुण्याची गणना कोण करी पुण्याची गणना कोण करी.
Thank you, Belaji. I'd now like Jayanti, if she's available on the call to speak about the presentation we're making in the lobby area.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hari Om Soham Ji and Hari Om everyone. I'm here to talk about the special lobby presentation that we're going to have as part of this mystery series Yajna. Aparna ji touched on briefly about what the lobby is going to be like, but I'd like to start off with saying that the lobby is an expression of what the motto of the Chinmaya mission itself is, which is to give the highest, greatest joy to greatest number of people for the greatest amount of time. So how does this express itself in different aspects of Chinmaya mission? Not many people are aware of the whole gamut of grassroots activities and all, and endeavors that we are engaged in. So the lobby is going to showcase as many of these wings of the Chinmaya mission as possible. And it's not going to be just stand by and walk by kind of a presentation. It's going to be an interactive lobby presentation. So there'll be several booths in the lobby. Each of the booths will represent some aspect of Chinmaya mission, like whether it's Bal Vihar or our in-house publications, Mananam, Chord, Upahar, and so on and so forth. And we invite everyone to come and spend time at each of these booths, which will be again interactive. Fun and engaging activities have been planned by every member of these stalls and booths. And these will be open for 45 minutes before Swami G's talks begin every day. And it'll also be open for 30 minutes after his talks. So there's going to be plenty of time, and we're trying to make it as attractive and as friendly as possible. It's going to be manned by people who are involved in these activities in our mission and beyond. And so they're going to be standing behind the booths, and they're going to be answering questions for people, and people will be encouraged to interact with them too. So I'm hoping we are working as a team. We're trying to make it as welcoming as possible. And we are hoping it's going to have more insight into what we do as Chinmaya Mission, what we stand for, and how it reflects the highest philosophy for which this mission was even came to existence by Pujya Gurudev's life and vision. Thank you, Hari Om.
Thank you, Jayanti. Now I'd like to invite Sundaresh Ji to please present about the Kritagnyata Sankalpa.
Hari Om Soham Ji and Hari Om Chinmaya Mission members. As many of you will recall, last year we launched a multi-year campaign called Kritagnyata Sankalpa, which is our pledge of gratitude to Gurudev. And we have all been uplifted by the spiritual vibrations of this great master. And as part of that, we have had the benefit of Chinmaya Mission San Jose, and the causes we were celebrating are our 10th anniversary, Gurudev's 108th Jayanti just went by, and the opportunity we have next year to host the Mahasamadhi camp on the 32nd anniversary of Gurudev's Mahasamadhi. So there's nothing like the grand finale that Aparna ji so eloquently described, and you saw snippets from the bhajans and the dance programs all made goosebumps go on my hands. But over the course of the last year, as we supported Kritagnyata Sankalpa, we did this with Yajman sponsorships across many yajnas. And it's only fitting that the grand finale also come along with a grand Yajman sponsorship, since it is being conducted by our own global head, Swami Swarupananda Ji. So for this mystery series yajna, we will have Yajman sponsorships, and the details are on our website as we speak. And we will have 4 tiers. There'll be a Pradhan Yajman at 25,001 and up for those who are supporting the entire yajna in a grand way. There'll be a Mukhya Yajman at 10,001 and up. And there'll be daily Yajamans called Anudina Yajman at 2,001 and up. And there will also be Aarti Yajmans every day at 501 and up. And the point about the grand finale is we want to have a grand impact. We want to continue to show our generosity as a community to support the mission and its activities. And as part of that focus, last year we had a target of 300,000, and we've Puja Gurudev's blessings and grace, we raised, and all of your support, we raised 385,000. This year, our target is 600,000. With the grand finale Peace Mystery Series Yajna by our global head Swami Swarupananda Ji, followed by the Mahasamadhi camp that comes later this year. So we have some wonderful opportunities ahead. So please do your own bit and also share this with your friends, both inside and outside, because the proceeds will support not just Chinmaya Mission activities at the ashram, as well as our hosting the Mahasamadhi camp. They will also support Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth, which is a huge initiative for all of Chinmaya Mission globally, and CORD as well. So all of the wonderful organizations that benefited last year will continue to benefit this year. And the Yajaman sponsorship of our mystery series is a great way to do that. Hari Om.
Thank you, Sundareshi. It is imperative for all of us to come together. And many times we participate in a lot of events and we wonder how they've pulled it off and how they brought it together. We ourselves as volunteers, we are running around in circles trying to pull an event together. But if it is inspiring us so much, then why can't we do a little more? A Balavihar teacher can speak to every parent in your class, and that can be one way of spreading the word. So our ask is, please, if you're asking how can I be an ambassador, a Chinmaya Doot, extend a personal invitation to all our contacts as if we're inviting them for a family personal event. It is a family personal event. Create a chain calling effect to ensure we have a full house. I mean, if we at least take up the reason why, I mean, we are doing a lot of events. Why did we bring this kind of a presentation together? Is many times within our family itself, we don't have all the details, and it is not easy to share the number of things that are happening within a program. So this is an endeavor to try and give as much information as we can and receive feedback, and also have you in turn be that chain that you can in turn call more people, talk to more people, not just sharing the flyer or just sending the link of our website, but actually explaining what it is and what a transformative experience it will be. I'll pass on to Jignesh to take the session forward. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om, everybody. I'm so excited having seen the snippets of all the preparations that are going on. I've been part of some of those, many of these sessions and meetings we have been having for months. Just a couple of notes before I open it up for if you have any questions specific to Pujya Swamiji's event that is coming up. One being, we will observe Pujya Gurudev's Mahasamadhi Divas next Saturday on August 3rd with puja starting at 10 a.m. in the morning. So we welcome all of you. Please come. On that day, some of our CMSJ devotees will be in DC, attending Mahasamadhi camp, which is hosted by Washington, DC in East Coast. And we will unveil the registration website for MSc 2025 there. And we plan to do the same on Saturday during the puja. So we welcome all of you to hear more about it and avail the super early discounts. We'll have some volunteers to help you register during that time if you want to get on board into super early discount. So we look forward to seeing you first of all next Saturday for Mahasamadhi Day Aradhana Puja. It's a Samasti Puja. We welcome you, all of you. And followed by Pujya Swamiji's Yajna. If you notice, generally Swamiji comes to Bay Area in June, July. This year, specifically, Swamiji wanted to see parents because he has seen that, you know, our Bal Vihar congregation is growing. There are a lot of new parents. And he wants to connect with them. He wants to see them. So we are making Swamiji travel to West Coast twice. He has adjusted his itinerary so that he comes here again for the second time. So since Swamiji is taking this trouble, we have also pushed our yajna after the school starts. So please avail, this opportunity. It comes only once a year. I'll pause here. If you have any questions specific to 10-year anniversary, we can open it up. You can raise your hand, and you can we'll unmute you and you can speak. In few seconds, if nobody has questions, then we'll end. Sohamji, any final words? Otherwise, we can conclude with a prayer.
Yes, thank you, Jigneshbhai. I think all the content was very inspiring, and looking forward to all of them presenting. They've been doing the rehearsals and practice, I don't know for how many months now. All of that, what you saw was a very small snippet of it. So do spread the word, and not only you come, but bring others from your family and friends to the yajna. Any questions, always feel free to email us. We can always take it later also. Okay. Hari Om, everyone. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Hari Om, everyone. Hari Om.
Hari Om Soham Ji.